If you're scrolling, stop because this story will touch a part of your heart you didn't even know was waiting to feel something today. It begins on a cold December evening, when a widowed Shah, one of the most powerful men in the city, found a tiny handwritten letter on his assistant's desk. A letter addressed not to him by Nadia Brokenbar but simply to Santa Brokenbar at the corner office. He almost laughed, almost tossed it aside, almost ignored it like the other hundreds of messages he received daily, but something about that shaky handwriting made him pause. And that pause would change everything. Miles away, in a tiny, dimly lit apartment, 7-year-old Amara was finishing her homework while her mother, Nadia, tried to stretch the last of their month's groceries. It had been their roughest year. Nadia worked 2 jobs, barely keeping the lights on, still grieving the loss of her husband who passed away 2 years earlier. The rent was late again, the fridge was nearly empty again, and Christmas, a broken bar Christmas, wasn't even in the picture. But Amara, with her stubborn little hope, refused to believe that the world forgot them. She had seen people writing letters to Santa at school. Everyone talked about gifts, toys, fireworks, family dinners. She knew her mother couldn't afford any of that, but she still believed in miracles. So she wrote her letter, not to the North Pole, not to a man in a red suit, but to Santa at the corner office, the mysterious top floor in the tall building she passed every day on her way to her mother's evening job. She didn't ask for toys, she asked for something else. When CEO Aidan Carter opened the letter, he expected a child asking for dolls, or maybe expensive gadgets, of things he could easily send through his PR department. But the letter read, "Dear Santa, my mom cries at night when she thinks I'm asleep. I don't want toys, I just want her smile back. If you are the Santa who makes big things happen for people broken bar, can you help my mom breathe again? Love, Amara." Aidan's breath caught in his throat. He hadn't felt a real emotion and not like these since his wife died 3 Christmases ago. His world had become numbers, deadlines, expansions. He didn't realize when he had shut off his own heart. But this little girl's words cracked his silence open like glass. And so, without a second thought, without calling his director or arranging a press moment, he put on his coat, grabbed the letter, took his car keys and drove straight to the address written in the corner. Nadia jumped when she heard the knock. It was late. Too late for visitors. Too late for good news. When she opened the door, she froze. A man in a long coat, with tired but kind eyes, stood there holding a small envelope. "Are you a broken bar, Nadia?" he asked softly. "Yes, a broken bar. Can I help you?" He glanced down at the letter in his hand. "I believe your daughter wrote something to me." Amara peeked out from behind her mother, eyes wide. She whispered, "Mama broken bar, that's Emo broken bar Santa from the corner office." Aidan knelt down to her height. "I don't know about Santa," he said with a gentle smile, "but I did get your wish." Nadia's eyes filled with embarrassment. "Yeah, I'm so sorry if she bothered your staff. She likes to imagine ya." "No," Aidan cut in kindly, "she didn't bother anyone. She reminded me of something important." He stepped inside, and the tiny apartment told him everything the letter hadn't. The single heater, the worn furniture, the exhaustion hidden under Nadia's brave smile. They sat. Aidan listened as Nadia hesitantly explained her struggles, her jobs, her debts, her fears. She apologized again and again for taking his time, but Aidan shook his head each time. "You're doing more than most people ever could," he told her, "and no one should have to do it alone." Over the next few weeks, Aidan quietly arranged everything, not as charity, not as pity, but because something inside him had awakened, something human and warm. He helped Nadia find a better job at his own company where her kindness and resilience shone brighter than any R.A. copyright. Some A. copyright. He arranged groceries, fixed the apartment heater, ensured Amara had books, clothes, and a warm jacket for winter. He even helped settle their overdue rent with the landlord, though he insisted it was simply an advance on her new job. And slowly, a broken bar, the home began to breathe again. But something else was happening too. Aidan found himself smiling more, laughing again, feeling again, and not just because of gratitude or responsibility, because Nadia's quiet strength reminded him of the woman he had lost, not replacing her but healing a place inside him that had been locked away. Nadia, too, noticed that Aiden didn't just bring solutions. He brought peace, presence, safety. For the first time in years, she wasn't carrying the world alone. And a broken bar, well, she simply believed that Santa had finally answered her letter. On Christmas Eve, Aiden knocked again, but this time with a small wrapped box. Amara tore it open, gasping at the wooden music box inside. But when Aiden turned to leave, Nadia followed him to the hallway. "You've done too much," she whispered, tears in her eyes. "Why us? Why broken bar me?" He looked at her for a long moment, something fragile and real hanging in the quiet. "Because once," he said, voice low, "I prayed for someone to bring my smile back too, and your daughter reminded me that miracles don't always come as gifts. Sometimes as a broken bar they come as people." Nadia's breath trembled. Aiden touched her shoulder gently, and when their eyes met, something unspoken passed between them, something healing, hopeful, human. As Aiden turned to leave, Amara shouted from the doorway, "See, Mom, I told you a broken bar Santa brings back smiles." And for the first time in years, Nadia laughed, a soft, bright sound that filled the hallway with everything Christmas was supposed to be. This wasn't a story about gifts, it was a story about hearts finding their way back to life. And if you felt even a hint of warmth from this journey, then imagine how many more hearts we can touch together. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's spread these stories of hope to the world, because sometimes one share can be someone's Christmas miracle.